Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Muhammad Hassanuddin. Me and my partner Muhammad Imraan will discuss about hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control for firefighters. Let's go. Firefighter is a person whose job is to extinguish fire. A hazard that has been identified is related to safety hazard, which is a fire hazard. This hazard is targeted to the workers, which is the firefighter itself. Next, for the risk assessment, we can look into the table of severity and likelihood. As in the table next to me, we can score a firefighter. It has a high severity and high likelihood to being burned by the fire itself. So, we can score it 5 times with 5 and we get a 25, which is a high risk for this job. Firefighter has a high risk to being burned by the flame because it is their main scope of the job, which is to extinguish the fire itself. So, how to control this risk? This will be discussed by Muhammad Imraan after this.
Now we are going to take a look at the risk control plan for situations involving fire hazards. In order to construct a risk control plan, we need to first take a look at the hierarchy control pyramid chain, where at the top of the pyramid we have elimination, where we physically remove the hazard. Secondly is substitution, where we replace the hazard with something less risky. Third part is engineering controls, where we isolate the workers from the hazard itself. Fourth is administrative controls, where we change the way the workers perform for the better. And last but not least is PPE, where we protect worker with personal protective equipment. This is the least effective way in order to handle such hazards. In this situation, we are dealing with fire hazards. For fire hazards, it is suitable in the elimination section, where we physically remove the fire. Fire can be removed generally by two methods, which is by using the fire extinguisher and also the water hose by a trained worker. Which brings me to my next point. Firefighters need to be trained on how to handle fire appropriately to avoid any risk or danger towards the citizens. Now we are going to take a look at how fire extinguisher is used in an appropriate manner. It can be represented by the word pass, where P stands for pull. We pull the pin that unlocks the lever. A stands for aim, where we aim low, pointing the extinguisher nozzle or hose at the base of the fire. S stands for squeeze, where the lever above the handle to discharge the extinguishing agent. To stop the discharge, release the lever. Last S stands for sweep, where the nozzle or hose from side to side. Moving carefully towards the flame, keep the nozzle aimed at the base of the fire and sweep back and forth. Now we are going to take a look at the SOP on executing this risk control plan. First and foremost, we have wearing fireproof suits for firefighters. This is because firefighters are at very high risk on being in contact with fire, which can cause injury or even death. Secondly is wear helmet. This is also to protect the head and also hair from fire or any concussion involved in the operation. Thirdly, we wear boots to avoid the feet from being in contact with fire and also contamination. And fourth, which is the most important step, is prevent the citizen from getting near to the fire source. This is the most important step as a firefighter because they are responsible on protecting the citizen's life at all costs. So the benefit we can get from this is they can prevent the citizens from risk at getting high degree of burn, which may lead to death.
After we execute the risk control plan, we can reduce the severity and the likelihood of the whole operation was down to level 2, and we can score it 2 times with 2 and we can get 4, which means there is very low risk of this occupation. We also can conclude that there is very low percentage of the firefighter will be getting burned by the fire itself.
That's all from us about HIRARC of Firefighter. Thank you.